Good morning, everyone. The title of our devotion this morning is The Thrill of Hope by Sean McAvoy. And a little later on, we'll have an excerpt from Max Lucado's book, God Came Near. Romans 15:13 says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." Romans 15:13. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. That's an excerpt from O Holy Night. Does Christmas thrill you? Children get excited at the coming of the season, and often we might feel a bit of a charge through experiencing their amazement, but the chores we go through to provide that for them are often the very things that rob us from knowing the wonder ourselves. Plan the party, trim the tree, max out the MasterCard, wrap, ship, take a trip. And that's assuming we aren't one of the multitudes who find themselves with a case of the holiday blues. So if Christ's coming into this world offers hope, and hope, as the song says, provides a thrill, how do we locate that experience amid the distraction and disillusionment of December? Well, that's the cool thing about hope. Just as total darkness cannot hold back the light of a tiny flame, so does even the smallest increment of hope provide joy and purpose. Here are a few scriptures I've been mulling over on this subject. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." Notice the parallel between things hoped for and things not seen. Talk about a paradox. Try applying assurance to something your five senses can't detect. It's a challenge. The plus side is that hope through Christ is available to you no matter what you see, hear, or feel. It's above your circumstances. Romans 5:3-5 says, "We also exult in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation brings about perseverance, and perseverance brings about proven character, and proven character brings about hope. And hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out within our hearts through the Holy Spirit who was given to us." Do you ever hear people say, "I don't want to get my hopes up," because they're afraid of being disappointed? What would you make of Paul's claim that hope does not disappoint? Might the disconnect have something to do with what we're hoping for or expecting? Max Lucado thinks so. And he says, "Hope is not what you'd expect. It is what you would never dream. It is a wild, improbable tale with a pinch me, I'm dreaming ending. Hope is not a granted wish or a favor performed. No, it is far greater than that. It is a zany, unpredictable dependence on a God who loves to surprise the socks off of us and be there in the flesh to see our reaction. Love hopes all things, but now abide faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." 1 Corinthians 13:7-13. Ever wonder why faith, hope, and love are the greatest virtues, and apparently in that order? Maybe hope isn't actually something we do, but something we receive, like grace. If it's true that without faith it's impossible for us to please God, Hebrews 11:6, perhaps it is conversely true that without hope it would be impossible for Him to please us. The same verse says that God is a rewarder of those who seek Him. Is hope that reward? I mean, if faith is what we give to God and hope is what He gives to us, then we have the dynamic of a relationship. With that in place, we can love. So love is built on hope, which is built on faith. For hope to exist, unfortunately, it looks like there has to be hopelessness first. A perfect world wouldn't have any need of hope. Deliverance arrives undeservedly and perhaps unexpectedly, just as in the unlikely way God came to earth to provide a once and for all substitute for the sins of all men on that first Christmas. That's why things can look bleak, but that's where hope lives. The good news is you simply can't hope big enough, which goes back to the idea of our minds and senses being inadequate to judge God's design or methods, and hope being more a function of God's involvement than our desires. I readily acknowledge I could not have conceived of the plan of salvation or the virgin birth. I couldn't have imagined the plan for the walls of Jericho to crumble, for the hungry lions to turn into Daniel's pet kittens, or the Red Sea to part and offer up dry land. So neither do I know how my problems will be solved, or what miracles I'll be blessed to see this Christmas. Isaiah 9:6-7 concerns the hope of the prophecy being fulfilled that brought us a wonderful counselor, a mighty God, an eternal Father, and the Prince of Peace. The last sentence of verse 7 says, "It's the zeal of the Lord that will accomplish this." God is excited. He's zealous, which means he's enthusiastic, passionate, obsessive even, to bring us this hope. So Romans 15:13 is my Christmas prayer. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Why is there hope? Because Jesus was born. Oh, holy night. What a thrill. God is at work. Thank you for joining me for today's devotional, and I will see you the next time.